Parents, students, peers. I'm here to talk about the causes and effects of labeling children gifted and or talented. When students are labeled gifted and or talented, their education can be extremely different than a student that is not labeled gifted or talented. Students are affected by the labels that are placed on them, and it is important to be careful when placing these labels. There are many different causes to being labeled gifted and talented. One could be having a notable quality, and another could be excelling at something, particularly a subject. Maybe they excel at English, math, science, social studies, music, or art. And these are just a few examples of different subjects that students regularly excel at that parents, peers, and teachers take note of and comment on. So it is important to be careful and take note of different subjects that students are excelling at. There are many different effects of being labeled gifted and or talented. One effect could be these gifted or talented people trying to blend in with the group around them and go unnoticed. An example of this is in the classroom when a teacher asks if anyone knows the answer to a question. While this gifted and or talented student clearly knows the answer to the question, they choose to not answer it because they feel pressured by their peers to be of equal intelligence. So they sit quietly and hinder their education because they feel like they need to conform to a group that is around them and feel like they are part of a group, so they choose to not answer these questions that they clearly know the answer to and stay silent, while the rest of the class also is not getting the education that they deserve by this student staying quiet. So that's just an example of children trying to blend into a crowd or go unnoticed. Gifted children might lie to cover up their talents, especially in social situations. They might lie about how they feel about a class. They might lie about how they felt about taking a test, and they might lie altogether about their grades in general. So it's important to take notice that children feel pressured by the labels that we place on them. A study, or a journal in particular, called The Social Cognition of Gifted Students in Schools, has made different studies and scenarios that gifted children have answered regarding the situation and how they felt about it. They have 5 categories. First is the truth. Second is to placate, where students make a prefacing remark, which is tried to play down their experience. Third is to cop out or deflect the question altogether. The fourth is to cover up and change the subject. And the fifth is to lie about the entire thing altogether. This could be lying about if they studied or not. This could be lying about the grade that they think they will get. Or this could be them lying about studying at all. They might tell their peers that they did not study and that they fear that they are going to fail, even though they spent hours and hours studying for a test and they know that they could pass the test and they thought it was easy. And they lie, cover up, placate to feel like they are part of the group because they do not want their peers to feel that they are of lesser intelligence, so that they can all be part of the same group. They decide to use these different categories and scenarios put in place to show that while gifted and talented people are gifted and talented, they do not always tell the truth about their gifts. In conclusion, being labeled gifted and talented can have positive and negative effects. It is up to parents, peers, and students to ensure that all of the facts are laid out and all of the ideas about the situation are acknowledged before placing these labels. It is important to also take into account how a student feels about being labeled, because all students are unique in their own way.